Hi, I'm Annie.
And I'm Christy.
This is Abuela's Counter, and we are going to be making mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
I feel like I need to dance with her
Yes.
when she does this. This is the mac and cheese dance.
It's like the greatest food of all time.
It is. It's one of my favorites.
One of my favorites, and it's actually the first thing I learned to kind of make because I wanted to bring something a little more traditional to the Cuban table. And so I started to do this. And
The funny thing is that now this really traditional thing, you put a little Abuela's Counter spin on it. So,
and I'm really excited to show you guys. So should we do it?
I can't wait. Let's do it.
Let's go.
We have the pasta boiling.
And while the pasta is boiling, you're gonna make your bechamel.
Let's do it.
Sounds intimidating, but trust me guys, if I can learn how to do this, you can do this.
You really can.
All right, so the way you start a bechamel is with some butter.
Yes.
And we do equal parts butter. So we have about 4 tablespoons of butter here to flour. It's a little hot.
Flour, it's a little hot.
We're a little hot. We're gonna get the temperature lowered here. So you wanna really brown your butter, brown the flour in the butter.
Not too brown though, right?
No, not too brown before you're gonna add your milk. You wanna break it down a little.
So bechamel is just a classic
French.
French sauce, and we use it for croquetas. That bechamel is a lot thicker. This is a much smoother bechamel. Right? So you
Right.
want to make sure that all the butter and the flour
Melt together.
completely melt together.
They make this beautiful color.
That little corn.
Yeah, get that color. So here, we're about, what do you think, Annie? Correct me.
I think we need a minute more. Just so the flour, that raw taste of the flour, you want it to go away. You don't want to taste that granular. You don't want to taste that granular flour texture in your bechamel. Okay, ready?
Yes. So now I'm gonna switch to a whisk, right? All right, Annie, hit me.
Hit me with your best shot. Okay, so we're adding the milk a little bit at a time. Perfect.
Woo!
Keep it going. I like adding a little bit at a time just so it doesn't get clumpy.
Now we're a 2-person operation right now. So sometimes when you're working alone, it could feel like a lot and your arm can get tired, but just keep going.
But either way, think of how we're doing it. We're, taking turns. I'm just splashing a little bit and Christy's whisking. So do the same thing for yourself. Don't get overwhelmed. Think of this as, the slower you go, the better. And then we'll raise the heat. Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll raise the heat because we want it to bubble up. That's how this is all gonna thicken.
Okay.
It's that flour and that milk being able to thicken with heat.
And you should know, we heated the milk up a little bit in the microwave. That's a great tip for you because then all your ingredients are hot and working together and it will help thicken it faster.
Exactly. What you don't want is you have hot butter, hot flour in the pan, and then all of a sudden you pour in cold milk. It's like, whoo, a shock.
Makes your job a lot harder.
Yes, you're more likely to have clumps, right? So we don't want that for you guys. We want you guys to have the smoothest bechamel possible.
Right, you can find this recipe at abuelascounter.com. And always remember that all of our recipes, they're suggestions. Go by what you're looking at. If you want to add a little bit less milk, add a little bit less milk. If maybe you think that your recipe could hold a little more, then you should add more.
So now we're just gonna wait until it bubbles up. We've got it on high heat, and then we'll show you guys what that looks like.
Okay, so here's where we are. Our pasta is cooked. It's not all the way cooked. It's still al dente because again, remember, it's gonna bake. All right, our bechamel.
We don't wanna overcook it.
You don't wanna overcook it. So our bechamel is nice and thick.
Let's show them the bechamel test. So flip the spoon.
Flip the spoon.
And then burn
See
yourself.
that?
And if it leaves that mark, that line, you know you're ready.
It's nice and thick. And remember, don't freak out. Bring your heat up, let it boil, let it cook while you're stirring it. It will really start to thicken up.
Don't freak out.
Don't freak out. It's like my new...
It will come together.
I'm here to tell you guys that I freak out all the time. So
that's why I'm like, look who's
don't
talking.
freak out. All right.
Let's add some salt and
So
pepper.
we add salt and pepper to it. You want to season it.
And then some some chili powder.
Some chili powder. It gives a little kick. Don't worry, it's not too much.
And a pretty little color too.
A little color. Your kids won't even notice.
So do you do pasta first or cheese first? Because this is sometimes very controversial.
I do cheese first.
Okay,
you need to know what you're dealing with. So I don't think that there's too much cheese, but that's like really up to you.
I'll stir while you
stir.
I would say I like to let it kind of
melt in and see what you're working with, because you don't want to add too much. I agree. You want to see how much like your bechamel can hold.
And you want it not to be grainy. Sometimes cheese can all of a sudden turn like a weird texture.
So also, excuse us because we're wrong, heat off. Once you're ready to add your cheese, you turn off your heat and you start to add your cheese, because you don't want your cheese to get funky.
Yeah, and you don't want the bottom to burn.
And you don't want the bottom, exactly.
With the cheese in there, you're more likely to burn.
So what cheese are we using? Also controversial.
I think any cheese is good for
it. Really stuck with me when Martin Lawrence said you gotta use cheddar. Like it's true. You have to use cheddar when you're using making macaroni, unless you're making something super, she fancy or whatever. I think cheddar is best.
Combo though. I love cheddar.
I combo cheddar, and in this recipe we say Colby and Jack cheese, because it also gives like that little extra kick. It melts really good together and it's all delicious. Annie likes to use Gruyere.
I like Gruyere, but I like it Gruyere with cheddar. I'm a believer in cheddar.
Yeah, I think
especially like good quality cheddar.
Oh, like so Tillamook. We love Tillamook.
So good.
So that's looking really good. Do you see it? It's nice and melted. You can tell the cheese is incorporated. It's like a perfect cheesy sauce. And so now we're gonna add the pasta.
This pasta I did add, just so you guys know, a little tablespoon of olive oil. I think I add some of it, not all of it, right? Just in case.
What do you mean?
Like just in case it's too much.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It should be good for the whole pound.
Yeah. So we added a little tablespoon of olive oil just because it was ready 5 minutes before the bechamel was ready. So you just want to make sure that it doesn't clump up together.
Oh, that's such a good tip. Like that's a great tip,
Hot
Annie.
tip. You don't want to add
I'm letting my assistant help today. And
I just want to earn my keep so I can try the mac and cheese, guys. That's it. That's my plan.
I love that tip. You add a little bit of the olive oil, because that does happen. The pasta will stick together. And again, it doesn't matter so much. It will kind of come apart in the cheese, but that's like a great way to avoid the clump.
You'd rather at this point that it's already ready to soak up the bechamel.
Oh my God. So look at that. You have perfect creamy goodness.
So good. Can you make this ahead?
This is such a good make ahead. Mac and cheese, you go through the whole process. You make your bechamel, you make your pasta, you add it all together. And just like this, you would put it into your, whatever you're gonna-
casserole.
Your casserole dish, whatever you're gonna cook it in. And you can cover that with saran wrap, put it in your fridge up to 2 days ahead.
So you just put it in the casserole and you don't bake it?
You don't bake it, do not bake it. You put it just as is, with the cheese, with the bechamel, just like this. Put it in your casserole dish, fridge, take it out the day of, let it come to room temperature a little bit on its own, put your topping, and bake it at 350 for an hour.
That's perfect.
It's super easy to do.
Such a time saver. So let's taste it, see where we are before we put it in the casserole, right?
I agree. Oh man, it's gonna taste so good baked. I can tell already. All right, we're gonna put it in our casserole dish before we pop it in. We're gonna throw it into our dish.
Throw it in. I love it when we cook it in a casserole that's deep like this, because that way it's really thick mac and cheese.
Oh, it looks so pretty. So we're in our casserole dish, and here's my abuela counter's remix. Usually what I put in here is cheese with breadcrumbs. And I use a paprika, or I use whatever,
because it has a beautiful
Tony's
color.
Creole, because I want to add color to the topping, right? But I decided to use our sazon just to give it a little Cuban flair and like a little yummy.
I love it. I love
Right,
that
and
idea.
so you go in and you top it with your breadcrumbs, your cheese,
Like
and your
generous.
sazon. Be super generous,
I'm so hungry.
because the breadcrumbs are like the, you know, what gets crispy and delicious on the top.
I love that.
You can use plain breadcrumbs, you can use panko breadcrumbs, you can use just use whatever you want. Ritz crackers all crumbled up.
We are big fans of
You gotta
shredding
do-
our own cheese, by the way.
Yeah.
We like to shred our cheese. If you don't have the time, we get it, but we like to do it.
There's
I feel
something
like
about shredded cheese, like shredding your own cheese, it just melts better.
it melts so much better.
Look, it takes a couple minutes. If you have a teenager, make them do it. I mean,
Someone around there has got to be available to shred some cheese.
but you should.
I make Christy do it all the time.
Yeah. If you want, I'll come shred your cheese. I probably won't, but you can do it. And it makes a huge difference. All right, so we're ready. And you're gonna bake this at 350 for about 45 minutes to an hour. Just check in on it. When it starts getting like golden and melted, you know it's done.
Can't wait.
All right. This is the mac and cheese is done dance. Look at her.
She's ready.
You knew
So
she was
good.
ready because she was golden on the top. She was bubbling. It's been about 30 minutes. We do say that. So I want to say, watch it.
Watch it, yeah. It's something that, this is how it should look. Just worry about that.
When it looks
Right?
like this, you know it's finished.
Okay, I'm holding my plate. I'm ready to eat.
All right, should we feed her?
Yes.
Which piece did you want? What did you want? You were eyeing a thing.
If I was in the privacy of my own home, I would just take the whole top layer to myself.
Oh man.
But since
Like,
I'm
you want
not-
this little nice
Yeah, give me-
fancy corner.
Good, yummy corner.
Oh, look at that. Look at that in there.
So good.
So good. I don't think that this spoon was big enough.
It's okay. We'll take several spoons.
Okay, ready? Come closer.
I can't.
This spoon was it's very long but teeny tiny mouth. There.
Oh, look at those crunchies.
Yeah, that's good. A little more because we're sharing.
My mouth is watering.
All right, absolutely cheesy perfection. Thank you, lady.
Every man for himself.
All right. So I hope we
So
inspired you to make a little
good.
mac and cheese and bring a little cheese to your table.
And if you want to add some abuela's counter pizzazz to it with our sazon,
We encourage it.
that's a lovely bite. So good.
Mac and cheese. All right, guys, enjoy.
You guys are gonna love this. It's so good. Creamy and crunchy.
See you later.
All right.